Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Noob Repair. It's been a very long time, but I wanted to make this video. I've been meaning to make it for a while, and I'm doing it. So, Gamecube, one of my favorite systems of all time. Absolutely great system. This is my Gamecube launch system. I bought this shortly after launch, like within a few, like maybe a week or two after it came out. So many great memories with this system. But, you know, I've done a pretty good job of keeping it clean for the most part, keeping it away from, you know, having things blocked as far as the fans go. But this Gamecube has problems with the door sticking. So what happens is when you press the open button, the door will open, and then when you go to close it, it won't close. You have to keep pressing it or fiddling with the button. It may feel a little bit loose. So why is that? Well, the reason being is in most cases, not all cases, but in most cases, there is dirt or grime or gross stuff inside the button. So in order to fix that, what you have to do is you have to take apart the Gamecube from the bottom, okay? And then once you do that, you can actually pop this button out, this open button. Here's the thing, a lot of people try to go about it the lazy way, and they try to get it from the top, meaning they try to either pour alcohol into the top. Don't ever do that. Or what they'll try to do is they'll try to like wedge the button out from the top. You cannot do that. If you do, you're just gonna mark up the Gamecube. It's gonna look really stupid. What you have to do is you have to take the top cover off. Now this is a two-part door. Basically, once you unscrew it, the top peels off. You can just pull it right off. It's super easy disassembly, which I'm gonna show you in this video. And then there's two ways to go about doing this as far as the cleaning goes. The first is you could just pop the button out, actually, which I unfortunately don't show you in this video because I went about it the more difficult way. What you could do is you could just put a screwdriver into the spot where the latch is for the holes, and you could pop it right out, clean it up, put it back in. What I did was a full disassembly, including the spring. So yeah, probably shouldn't have done that, but I think it was good anyways because there was a little bit of gunk in spots that I couldn't see, and getting this whole assembly out was pretty easy to do. So as far as what you'll need for this disassembly, you'll need a security bit, which you can buy on eBay, Amazon. You want to get one that's specific to either the Gamecube. I think this one is also for Super NES. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's also, you can use it on Super NES. I have two different security bits. That's why I always get them confused. One of them is used, I believe this one is used on Game Boy games, and this one is used more on like NES, Super NES, etc. So what else? You can buy some of these Miracle Wipes, not sponsored or anything like that. I got these at TJ Maxx apparently, and during the video when I'm disassembling, I'm like, where did I buy these? I can't remember. Duh, dummy, there was a sticker right there in the box. So I bought these at TJ Maxx for $5. You can get these at Staples and stuff like that too. These are good just to wipe down the electronics, just to make them nice and clean. Obviously you want to try to stay away from doing anything directly with any circuit boards or anything like that, so stay away from that. In addition to that, you can get Q-tips. I have this handy dandy Q-tip holder that I bought at the grocery store for about $1 or so, $2 maybe. And then you'll also need I used a flathead screwdriver. You might also be able to use a Phillips head, but I was able to get the, for the spring disassembly, I was able to use just a regular flathead screwdriver. And then I also have a bottle of rubbing alcohol. This is like as close to 100% as possible. It's like 97 or something like that, 93. I can't remember. But this is definitely handy. You're gonna use that for the Q-tips. And that's it. So let's begin the video. Do it up. All right, so as you can see, here's my Gamecube. This is my original Gamecube that I've had since the launch of the Gamecube. And yeah, the biggest issue that I have is if you notice when you put this down, the lid, it doesn't always stay down. Sometimes it does, but this, see, there, it sticks. So the goal is to try to fix the open button, and what you're gonna have to do is clean it. But how do you clean it? Well, you gotta go ahead and open everything up here. There we go. So first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wipe this down just to get all of our surface residue off. What I'm using here is something called Miracle Wipes for electronics. These are safe to use on all electronics. It's just good to do. Look at that. Look at all that grime. Ugh. 20 plus years of grossness. I played so much of my Gamecube back in the day. I absolutely love this console. It's one of my favorites, and I just have so many great memories during college playing Smash Brothers until, you know, the sun came up. Like, just, man, I love this console. Like, this was my primary, like, I would only buy games for the GameCube, even though I had a PS2, and like, this was my go-to for the console. So here, right there, like, look at all that garbage that we got off the console. Now my fans are pretty clean, actually. I did a pretty good job of making sure that the ventilation was okay, that I didn't have you know, my GameCube stacked upon, you know, blocked up. Here's the back. Now I already have the panel off for the GameCube Game Boy player, so we're gonna go ahead and take these off as well. This is for the adapter and whatever this was. What was this used for? Serial port 2, anybody? No clue. Anyways, so you're gonna take one of these bad boys right here, the security bit. You wanna put your screwdriver in here and slowly turn. And if you do, you should get it loose enough that you can pop it out. There's the screw. We're gonna make sure that we safeguard that. And now we're gonna go to the next one. Pop that bad boy out. We got 2 more. So yeah, my GameCube is fairly clean otherwise. Like, you look at the bottom looks pretty clean. I've tried to treat it good. The only thing I will say that I need to do is I need to replace the battery, which unfortunately that is a soldering job. But I'll be able to do it on my own. So once you take these screws out, this bad boy right here just pops right off. Look at that. Look at that. What I would do is just any kind of stray hairs or anything, keep those away from the lens. Maybe wipe this down as well. Be very careful, don't touch that lens. Touch that lens, it's game over. It's got some dirt on the side here, but it's not, you know, it's been 20 years, it's over 20 years, so it makes sense that there would be some dirt. Here's the fan. You can take a look at the fan right here. Like I said, my fan's in pretty good shape. It's not too bad, but sides. All right, so here's, look at this. Look how dirty that is right there. I didn't realize how dirty that was. Man, gross. One thing you could do is you could pop this bad boy out. So right here, you'll notice that's where the battery is. So there's 2 solder points right here, one here, one here. Those are what you would need to unsolder in order to get the battery out. Unfortunately, you can't just pop the battery out, so it's kind of a shame. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this right here, just to clean out these controller ports, because they're pretty grimy. I didn't realize how gross they were. And this is connected by a ribbon cable. You just want to make sure that you don't pull on that. You know, as I've said before, there's soldering involved for this, so you wouldn't need to mess around with that too much. Just try to gently clean as best as you can for this. Clean the ports here. So Most likely something spilled or got in there, which is why it's all gross. But this will clean it up real nice. All right. So let's pop that back on. I will say it's a really well done system as far as like cleanliness goes. It's nice and compact. It's easy to handle. There are some rust spots. You'll notice like right here on the metal. It's just due to age. So, but no gross buggies living in my Gamecube. Looks pretty clean for the most part. So, let's get rid of this. Let's focus on this. Now, as we did before, we went ahead and opened this bad boy up and took a look inside. As you can see, it's gonna be kind of hard to tell, but there's definitely some spots that are gonna be harder to reach. By the way, if you're wondering what that noise is in the background, if you can hear it, it's my fan. My heater fan. So, here we go. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over all these little nook and cranny areas here. Try to clean it up. And there's a little latch right there that you want to try to get into. So this is the eject button right here that I'm pressing. You notice, you see how it's getting stuck. So first thing I'm going to do is just finish getting all these little nook and cranny areas here. Now you're not going to get everything. Look at that. Ugh. There's a bit of gunk there. Just get all along the entire area here. And don't be afraid to, you know, once you've pretty much like made a mess of one, go grab another. What you want to do is hold down this button and run the Q-tip around in circles on it. Okay, look at that. Ugh. I definitely must have gotten something in this. And then what you can do is you could try to press the button, see if it still sticks. If it does, there's a good chance that you need to get deeper. Right there, if you could see. There's a hole right there. There's a couple holes that you can see where those screws are. That's where it shifts. So you'll look, if you open it up, you'll see right here. You can really do a deep clean. You just want to be careful because there's a spring right here. So you want to be careful that you don't mess up the spring, because if you unscrew this and then you got to put the screw back in with the spring. And so you want to be careful about that, because you can potentially bend the spring or cause damage to it to the point where you won't be able to use it anymore, and then your Gamecube door is basically shot. So just be careful of that. But ultimately, what you can also do is you can get a toothpick in here as well. See, it's still sticking a little bit. You can get a toothpick in there and really kind of try to grime out some of that dirt. So maybe we'll try that next. Here's a toothpick, and what I'm going to do with this toothpick is I'm going to try to scrub away at some of these harder to reach places just by putting a little bit of alcohol on and just cleaning out, as you can see, some of these nooks and crannies that are a little harder to reach. And then you can kind of wipe it away with the electronic cloth or with a Q-tip, whichever you prefer. Try to go around while the button is pressed down, just to dig out anything that's stuck. And looks like there's a little bit of stuff there. So now let's try to close it. No, same thing. Okay. So something else is causing this button to stick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to unscrew it, unfortunately. So let's give it a shot. All right, so I've got a flathead screwdriver I'm going to try to unscrew the mechanism. I'm going to be very careful, because once I unscrew it, it's going to be difficult to get back together without causing too much damage. So there's the screws. Now, in theory, I should be able to lift this piece off, because there's nothing else holding it on. So here's the piece. I went ahead and just opened the door and then removed it. This whole thing you want to try to keep together. So make sure that this doesn't get bent. Just leave it on the side here. Okay. Now, here's the piece right here that controls the door. So what you can do is you could try to just pop that button out. And that is the easiest way to do it, in all honesty. So if you look really good in there, there's all kinds of what looks to be just gunk in there. It's kind of hard to spot, but there's definitely gunk in there, for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning that. And again, just being safe, using Q-tips. When's the last time you opened up your Gamecube and did this? I know this is the first time for me. And I'm getting really good in there just to make sure that it's all cleaned up. Look at that, right there. Look, 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 look. Ew, right? Ew. Now on top of that, the button is also something you want to clean. You want to make sure that the button is clean, because if the button is not clean, which it is not, you want to make sure that that's clean too. So again, just Q-tip, rubbing alcohol. It's very dirty. You know, there's a good chance I spilled something on it and just never went and cleaned it back up. So there you go, look. There's a bunch of dirt. You can't really see it in this light, but yeah, there's definitely very dirty. Very, very dirty. So now let's pop the button back in, and then we'll put everything back together, because now everything looks pretty good. There's one spot here which I'm gonna try to get with the Q-tip, because it won't, or with the what's it called? With the toothpick, because it won't reach. I'd also take a look at the spring mechanism too, just to make sure there's no dirt or grime in there. I still can't get right there. All right, kind of shove it in and move it around. That's what she said. So this button goes back in like so. And it's gonna be loose, again, because it's got no spring mechanism in it. So let's add that back in. So what you want to do is make sure that this is through the hole pointing down. Squeeze these two together, the spring. Pop that bad boy right back on there. It should be facing down, just like that. And then you want to go ahead and screw everything back in, just as we did before. All right, now the ultimate test. It opens, it closes, it opens, it closes, it opens, it closes. That's a lot better. And you'll notice that the button itself is more popped out. It feels a lot cleaner and better. So that is how you fix it. That is so much better. Wow, what a difference. Blockbuster video. Alright guys, well that's it. We were able to fix the Gamecube so that it opens nice and easy. Very happy with the work that we did on this. Let me know, do you have a Gamecube that's in desperate need of this? Did you try this previously and it worked great? Let me know down in the comments below. Keep in mind, this is only for the basic issue of cleaning the Gamecube's, the internal buttons. And as you've seen in this video, it's relatively easy to do and doesn't require any soldering, which is always nice, and that's why it's an episode of Noob Repair. Thanks so much guys for watching, and check out more Noob Repair videos down below in the playlist. Like, comment, subscribe, the whole nonsense. You know the drill. Peace out.